So today we are going to see a simple project on Angular 19. Okay. I'm actually supposed to do with 20, but some of the features are not completely compatible with the other APIs. So first of all, let us do with 19. And then by the end of the course, we will definitely have Angular 20, proper Angular 20. So we will complete on that as well. So here, basically, I want to introduce you. How do we install Angular? How do we set up basic things, and how we actually start working with Angular 19 based features? Like we will be using signals, and we will be using input output signals. Of course, output is not a signal, but that kind of approach, as well as while we are using the services also, how we are actually incorporating the signals in it. So mostly I would like to give you the complete picture through signals, because this is the most asked, as well as the most latest feature which is needed to be incorporated in our applications. So let us dive into that. So I will start from the base. Let me start the application. While this is getting installed, I will start this. I will explain you the project. So to install the application, first of all, we should have a command line tool called Angular CLI. You should have the Angular CLI. If it is not available in your computer, install npm install -g @angular/CLI. Even to install Angular CLI, we need Node.js. So first we have to check whether we have Node.js or not by using node-v. Ensure you have the Node.js even version Node.js. Either have 22 or else 24. So I have the latest 24 version, so I can continue with this. So if you don't have Node.js, please go to the nodejs.org website and try to download Node.js 22 version or 24 version, whatever you can. Once you have installed it, close the terminal and open the terminal back. I'll tell you, because if you are already the open terminal on your computer, it will be showing you the old Node.js settings. So open the latest Node.js, open the terminal again, and then type node-v. So now you will get, that means now you can install the Angular CLI. So for installing Angular CLI, npm install -g stands for global installation @angular/CLI. So this is the command what you are supposed to use. Already, as I have installed, I'm directly going into the next part. That is, now with the Angular CLI, by using ng new, this is the command what you have to use. Ng means Angular CLI with new and your application name. For example, Angular 19 Pro. Okay, so this is the name I have given. Suppose if you have older CLIs, it will throw errors. For those all errors, I made a video on installation errors and solutions for those errors already in the YouTube. If you really want, you can go and check my channel. You just type YouTube and type Praveen classes. So here you can see the Praveen classes, and in that Praveen classes, in the latest videos, you can go to the videos section, and here I have mentioned Angular20 project setup. Actually, I recorded in Telugu. It is completely a what you say, recently we worked on so many things. It's completely a practical experimentation. Go through this video, and if you really want to have the latest roadmap or yesterday's class, you can go through this latest video also, that is yesterday's class. So if you have any issues in the project setup and in installation of Angular, Node version, NPM, all these things, you can go through this particular video. Of course, it is in Telugu, but doesn't matter even if you need it in the English. సో మీరేం వరీ అవ్వకండి, దీన్ని ఫాలో అయితే మీరు మాక్సిమం యాంగులర్ ఇన్స్టలేషన్ ఎర్రర్స్ ఏమైనా ఉంటే అవి మీరు క్లియర్ చేసేసుకుంటారు. మీకు ఏమైనా వెరైటీ ఎర్రర్స్ వచ్చినా సరే కమెంట్ సెక్షన్లో పెట్టండి, నేను వాటికి కూడా వీడియోస్ ఇస్తాను. మన ఛానల్లో పాపులర్ వీడియోస్ వచ్చేసి ఆ ఎర్రర్ హ్యాండ్లింగ్ మెకానిజమ్స్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట. ఓకే, సో వాట్ ఎవర్ ద ఎర్రర్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్స్ యూ విల్ గెట్, ఐ హ్యావ్ కవర్డ్ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్ ఇన్ ద వీడియో. ఓకే
సార్, if you don't mind, install video పంపుతారా సార్? tools install video.
Yes, of course. That is why I have opened this channel and I am showing you. This is the video, Angular20 project setup Telugu standalone versus module based. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Don't find, just ping me, Nagendra. I will send you the video. Okay, if you still want, I'll do one thing. I will share it straight away. You can check it in the chat box, man. You can see that Angular installation videos. There are so many possible errors I have covered here. Yeah. So did you get that, Nagendra, link for the Angular setup?
Yeah, sir.
Great. Okay. So let us dive into it. Yes. Array ng new Angular Pro and enter. So I am using CSS, plain CSS. I don't want any server-side rendering for the right now application. It is just installing all the necessary files. Once it is installed, it will help you what to do then next also. So those people who are already aware of it, please don't mind. Yes, we need to give you those steps also. So in the meanwhile, I would like to explain you what is my agenda today. I want to display some of the products like this. Of course, this is plain example. So when we click, every product will have a button with, yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Sorry, sir. Sorry for interrupting.
Chaitanya,
yeah. Able to go from Node.js, from Node.js, or what is Node.js? Why it is used to backend Node.js to run the Angular application? From there you can start.
Definitely, Chaitanya, we will discuss that entire part in the course. I will start from the scratch. Zero means zero. Okay. I will help you while you are using it in the Windows. What are the problems you are going to get? Those all things also I will discuss it in the class. Okay. Don't worry. Because this is Windows, Nana. This is Mac. So this may or may not help you in that way. Okay. Yeah. Just a minute. What is my agenda? I will tell you. Even I will solve your problem also, your point also. Just let me tell you what exactly I want to show you today. So once we have installed the application, I would like to start with counter. In the counter, for example, even if you want to implement this kind of basic counter, what kind of best practices you have to follow, that I will be discussing today. And then to display the products like this, what kind of practices you have to follow with the data, that I will be showing you. And my agenda is, once I have shown you, I just want to create an application. Like when we click on a button called add to cart, I want to send this data into the service, and accordingly I want to display the number of products in the cart. So that I will show you in the cart here. Okay. This is a very simple application. We will make it more visually appealing. But first, let me go with the installation. Yes, successfully installed these packages, whatever there are. So here, Maybe you must be watching from mobile. So please careful to disable the annotations. Okay. Okay, guys. So now let me go to the project. So here we have installed the project in the main folder. So let me show you in my computer in the Praveen. I installed Angular 19 Pro. This is the project what I have installed. So here I had to go to the folder first, cd Angular 19 Pro. And after this, I had to start the server. So for that, I will use ng serve. Okay. I don't want any analytics. So I just escape it. Already 4200 is in use. So let me stop that server. Okay. This is not necessary to you. Okay. Wait a minute. I will start the server again. Now it will be starting on 4200. You just copy this URL and type it in your browser. You will get the foundational and fundamental application, whatever we got from the installation. So now here I want to implement a new project by using Angular. So already the code, everything got already installed. So now I have to open it. So through Visual Studio Code, I will be opening that project. So here is my project Angular 19 Pro. Open, and this gives you the complete project setup. So here there are so many folders. We will discuss very thoroughly what exactly this entire thing is. But I would like to share that our application is inside the SRC folder. And inside the SRC folder, there is a folder called app. In that app, we have the components. We have only one component right now. That one component is implemented by 4 different files. So here, this app component.html is one file. Just this is the page, whatever you are looking here at. So I just remove it and I type h1 with hello Edupoly Angular app development. So now you can see the application changed with this particular content. So this is the entry point for your entire application. But before this also, there is another entry point called index.html. So this is the page what actually getting loaded. Okay. So you can see this title is Angular 19 Pro. The title you can able to see here. So I would like to change this title to Edupoly Angular. Okay. So now you can see the change in the title as well. So this is the actual entry point. In that entry point, we are using app root. So this app root is nothing but the component what I am using right now. See here, this is the app root what I am using. So this is the component what we are loading in the application, right? Okay. So now just I wanted to show you that how we install the application, the boilerplate application, and how do we start the application and how do we open the application in the browser. This is what we have done so far. So now any application in that regard is a combination of components. So here, for example, let us go to edupoly.in. You can go through this website. In this website, this entire application is divided into small components. For example, how did I develop this entire application? I'll show you this. Whatever the navbar you are able to see, this entire navbar I have I have developed as one component. This entire navbar I developed as one component. And here, whatever there in this place, that is banner, this entire banner is another component. And whatever the Google reviews and my actual status of the institute is already here. So everything will be divided as separate components. Okay. So why we have to use it as a separate component? Point number one, coding will be separated and segregated properly, and accessing will be easier. And if you really want to modify any particular part, you will work only on that particular file. So there are two things, especially separating the components will give you two advantages. First advantage, when you have a big team like 15 members, 20 members of team working on a project, so they will work on their separate computers. So they have to create a separate file. They should not use the same file name in every computer. If they use the same file name in every computer, while we are merging or while we are combining all the code into one big thing, will give you errors. So when we separate it in separate files, the advantage you get is you can actually combine all of them afterwards without any merging problems. And the second beautiful thing is, suppose if you want to reuse the same thing in another page, so you need not to rewrite the entire code. For example, here, let me close this. I hope you are clear about what I am trying to tell you. For example, here I have experienced this. Now, when I go to Angular, here also I need the same kind of marketing tabs, same kind. So I need not to write again the entire code in this page, or else even I need not to recopy it and paste it. Okay. The only thing is I need to use that particular component again. So if I define this entire part as a component, I mean to say, if I design this entire part as a component, I can reuse it in as many pages as possible. That is what actually happens in the real time. So we have to understand everything is not a single page. Every page is a combination of components, right? Just now I have shown you some, okay, right? I'll open that. Wait a minute. I'll open that project as well because we created it separately. So here I'm running another component. You can see here. So this is a very fundamental application what I have developed for your demo. Here the entire application is created like this. I will show you. Whatever the app component is, in that app component, all the links I have given in the top section. Okay. After that, I have used some router outlet, leave it. And what is the beauty of this? And I have not created everything over here. Now, when I click on products, I am able to see the products. When I click on to-do list, I am able to get the to-do list. When I click on the counter, I am able to get the counter. When I click on the cart, I am able to get the cart. So these are all implemented in separate folders, separate files. Okay. And especially when I click on to-do list, that particular component is replacing the counter. So when I click on counter, that component will be replacing the to-do list. So this way, we can switch between one component to another component. So writing the code in separate components is the practice what we have to follow in Angular. That is what the point, right? So let us go to our application, the standard application. Here, I want to implement anything. If whatever you want to implement, we have to implement it as a component. So to create this kind of, one minute, to create this kind of applications, that means to create these many files, don't worry. You need not to write everything from the scratch. Then how, sir? Very, very simple. Angular CLI, the tool, will give you commands. With that commands, you can create components so easily. So now I will show you how to create it. Wait, I don't want it. NG-GC counter. Can you see this? Here the command is ng. Even to create the Angular application, I used the command ng new. Here I am using a command called ng-g. G stands for generate. Ng generate, C stands for component. Space the counter. So this will create a folder, complete folder here. You can see this complete folder. It created by itself. So from today onwards, whatever the components you want to create, you need not to worry about how to create it from the scratch. You just use Angular CLI. Those people who are already aware of it, they must be using it so easily. So now I would like to show you one more thing. While you are using the counter, while you are creating the component, it is creating one extra file called specs.ts. Basically, those people who are writing the test cases, they need to use this. If you really want to avoid it, you can avoid it. Anyways, we need a component called products. I will use ng-gc products space ---- skip -tests. So that now whatever the component it is going to get created, it will not create that spec file. So here you can see that products component got created, but not the test file is available over here. So this is how we can create components in the application. This is what we can do it in the application. So after this, after creating the component, that component, whatever the code is, for example, let us go to the HTML part of the component. It will not give you the, it is having some basic counter works kind of code. So this will not be coming directly on the application. This is our application, okay? This is our application. So this application is not showing that app counter. So for that, I had to use the selector of the counter component. The selector is app counter here. So now if I show you the output, it is saying an error. That is app counter is not known element. Okay, here I would like to tell you one point that latest Angular follows the stand-alone mechanism. Latest Angular follows standalone mechanism. So standalone mechanism will not have modules. So whatever the component is, we have to include that component in the main component under imports. So here in the imports, we will be using counter component. So here I am writing automatically, we are getting the suggestions. I am able to load that counter component here. So now if you see the application, yes, counter works is available. Counter works is available. So for little more extra styling and structured display of the project, I would like to take up the Bootstrap. So, getbootstrap.com is giving you the Bootstrap. please, okay, just open the Bootstrap and you can have this links available, copy them and paste them in the HTML file, index.html file. Both the files include it in the HTML file. If you really use any icons also, go to icons tab and click on the install section. And here you have another link, copy that link and paste it over here. So now my Angular application is equipped with Bootstrap. So here now, if you see our application, it is little changed, right? So now I can use the app component with some little adjustments. I will create a division with something called class is equal to border 2 M2. So what are these? You will understand later. P2. Yeah. So here is my app component. So even I will like to apply border danger or border success class so that I will get a green box. I want to put everything under that particular division so that this is our app component. This is our main component. So whatever the other components are, they are going to come here and they will get loaded. And the same kind of styling, I would like to give it to my counter component. So in the counter component, I will go to my HTML file and I will paste it this division. Yes. Guys, this is just the demo class and I would like to show you how the project works, how the what you say Angular behaves. This is what I wanted to give you today. So don't worry about anything because we are going to do it from the scratch. That assurance I will give you. Okay. So I would like to here use primary class. So you can see the feel of now the counter component is actually inside the app component. Okay. Right. The same way already I have products component here, right? Let me modify the products component also. I will go to the products component HTML page and I will paste it here. Products. Let me have, this is something like not primary warning or something like that. So now the product component is ready, but I had to include that component in the app component. So app products. So how you are knowing about what to be written? Yes, don't worry. In the component, there will be a file called product.component.ts. Here there is a selector called app products. That selector I am using in the app component as an element. So now you can see, see, anybody would like to solve this problem?
So we need to update in TS file now, sir.
Very good, Nana. Very good. We have to update in which TS file?
App TS file.
Because I want to use app products in my in the app component. But for app component, only counter component is known because that is what I have imported. So here now I would like to use products component as well. So here now the product component also applies. So what happened with my war? Not warning, that is warning. Okay, so here both the components are displayed at the same time. Okay, but according to the example I have given, only one component is getting loaded at a time, right? How can I achieve this? Because in an application, we will have hundreds of components. All the components cannot be displayed in the app component. For example, even in my website, we have almost all 15 courses. For every course, of course, right now we are showing only 5 courses. But if you really want to show all the courses, this page is not good enough, right? So what did I do? I have created separately and I am loading those all components, those all pages, one after the other, not in the same page. So here also, instead of loading everything here, I can switch between the components by clicking the links. So when I click on the counter link, I'm able to load the counter component. When I click on the cart, I'm able to load the cart component. When I click on the products, I'm able to load the products component. When I click on the home page, I'm able to load the home component. Let me create that home component as well, and then I will tell you what to do. So here, what I'm supposed to do, I have to load different components on different link clicks. So here, to achieve that particular thing, even I would like to have the home component also. I will open the terminal and I will write nggc home. So here we have home component. In the home component, I just have home. That's it. Okay, nothing else. But I want to load that home also on the link click, right? I want to switch between them. Again, I am teaching you. Again, I am trying to explain you that on a link click, I want to load different components. So as soon as I click on the link, you can see some changes in the path. In the URL, you can see some changes. When I click on to-do list, the path changed to /to-do list. When I click on products, the path changed to /products. So you have to understand that based on the path in the URL, the component is switching. This concept is basically called as routing. This concept is basically called routing. So first we have to understand how to write the routes, where to write the routes. There is a separate file we got it here that is called routes app.routes.ts. It is not included as module, my dear friends. Those people who are coming from old Angular mechanism, this is not a separate module. This is just the routes. So here I just directly need to give each route as an object. So here in this object, I am having a route. So in this route, first I had to give the path as counter. So when the path is counter, I would like to load the component as counter component. This is how we have to write. And for every path, we have to have the separate route. When the path is, okay, products, right now we have, and the component I want to load is products component. Where to be loaded, I will tell you. Just I am configuring it now. When the path we get it in as a counter, I have to load the counter component. When the path is products component, I have to load the products component. And when the path is default, that means there is nothing in the path, that is the root. So that I want to load the component as home component. So these are the routes I have defined, right? So now let us see this. In our application, we don't have those links. So we have to create the links. How to create the links? So I will go to the app component. I will remove these existing components and I will remove this. Okay, let it be there. So I will create an anchor tag with href as /counter. So I am creating two links. %mbsp gives you a space, buddy. Okay, it's not a big thing. So that it will look little better. So again, I am creating one more route. I mean, it's a link, that is products link. When I click on it, the path should be products. So now if I open the page, I got two links here. I didn't get all the components here. I just got two links. So when I click on counter, you can see something like /counter is added in the URL. When I click on products, /products is added in the URL, isn't it? So nothing is actually getting loaded because we updated the path, but we have updated the routes also, but we have not mentioned where to be loaded. We have not mentioned where to be loaded. So for that, we need a directive or one directive called router outlet. So that you have to write it like this: router outlet. This is like a what you say, a thread where we will what you say, dry all our clipboards. So you need a place where to be placed all your things, right? So yes, so now if you see, when you have the default one, you are going to get the home works. When we click on counter component, the URL gets changed and counter component is loaded. And when we click on the products, the URL got changed as well as the product component also loaded. So here we understood very beautiful thing called how to load different components on different paths, and we call it as routing. Yes. So let us jump into the next point. So how to implement the counter? So if you really want to have the counter, we just got the HTML just counter works. But what I want to eventually implement here is it. When I click on the counter, I want to display something like this. When I click on increment button, the counter value should be incremented. When I click on decrement button, the counter value should be decremented. And by default, it should be displayed with 0. So here I have implemented a counter component, but I want to show you how to do that. So every time, even if it is a demo or it is a regular class or anybody who wants to learn Angular, even if they come for the counseling, I tell only this point. How to implement something should have an approach. The approach is, whatever the component you are developing, you should have the approach. The approach is, what kind of data we are maintaining and what kind of actions we are using and what the UI we should show. So for every component, these three things are very, very important. One is data, action, and UI. So in the UI, I have to display count with the value, but don't start your application with UI. Start with state, that is data. So what is the data here? There is some data like 1, 2, 3. One value is getting changed. That is the data. So that data is called state in JavaScript or React or Angular. That is basically called state. Okay. So that state, so we have to create a state for maintaining this counter value. In the past, we used to create directly count is equal to 0, direct. Okay. But now we are not creating directly like this. We are using signal with a value. So this is how we have to create the state. So here what I have created, we have created state. And then I have to think about the action. So for the action, I am using INC. I have to define a method called INC. In this method, what I am supposed to do, I have to increment this count. So that is possible by taking the count variable with, there is a function called update. So don't worry, I will explain you signal API. We call it as complete signal API with very detailed mentions. Okay. In this, we will take the current value and we will return the current value plus 1. This is for implementing the action. Okay. This is state. Here I am implementing the action. for incrementing the count value. So for the same, for decrementing the count value also, I will be using the same update method for decrementing the count value. So I have implemented very nicely the state and action. So I have to think about the UI. So here, instead of displaying counter works, I would like to use a H1 with counter is having the value. So the variable is here in the component TS file. This value should be displayed in this element. So for that, Angular provides a very beautiful mechanism called interpolation. So these two brackets will pull the data from the TS file and they will be dumped. You need not to worry about document.getElement by ID dot inner HTML is equal to, you need not to do so much of work here. These two brackets will directly get the data and that will be shown over here. And we call that whole process as data binding. This whole process is called as data binding. So here the value is in the count, but unfortunately this is a signal. This is called count signal. So to get the data, I have to call the count signal. You directly should not call count here. You have to call it so that the count value will be displayed. Where is our application? Edupoly Angular. When I click on the counter, you can see the counter started with 0. So this 0 we pulled from the component TS file. And what is this called as? Interpolation. Interpolation. This is very important point. In the course time, I would like to give you a lot of examples with interpolation. Even we have to call it as property binding, event binding. These all things will be discussed in the regular time. Okay, just now, please understand, adjust with what is exactly happening. Ready? Counter is ready. Now I had to take care of two buttons. So here I have two buttons, right? I would like to take those two buttons, BUTTON button, increment. So let me have some styling also. Maybe you are looking for that. BTN success. So here my button is very nicely got it. Increment. The same way I want to create another button for decrement, and I would like to apply the class as button danger. So I got one more button, and let me apply some margin M2 here also, so that they will be displayed separately. And for H1 also, class is equal to M2, so that they'll look much better. So here what I have to achieve, when I click on the increment button, I have to increment the counter value. When I click on the decrement button, I have to decrement the counter value. So now when I want to do that, here Angular follows a different syntax. We use banana brackets. Okay, for remembering, I just use that word, very old word in fact. Use this banana brackets for event binding and call the method of what we have implemented just right now. So now here I will call this increment. So when I click on increment button, it will eventually call the increment function. The same way here also, when I click, I will get decrement. I have to call the decrement action. So now it will be decremented. But here I want to explain you, because you have come to the demo, so this should be useful for you. When I click on the increment, yes, this is calling the increment function in the counter component. Yes, it is calling. Yes, no doubt in it. In this component, the counter value is getting updated. So the only counter value gets updated, right? But how this is getting updated on the UI, on the HTML? Yeah. So for that, Angular follows a mechanism called change detection. Okay. So in the past, we were using a change detection mechanism called zone. We used change detection mechanism for with the zone.js. But now Angular is discouraging this zone.js, and it is using its own IVY model and on push mechanism. There are new and latest mechanisms have come. But earlier, what we were using zone.js for it. So sometimes you may need to work with it. So yes, you should not completely skip this zone.js for at least right for now. In the future days, we may not need this. So eventually, what I want to tell you is when you update the data, how the data is updated when you update the data in the TS file, how the data is updated in the component, that will be possible through change detection. There is a mechanism in Angular which always checks, is there any change in the data? Is there any change in the data like that? Once the data gets changed, all of a sudden it will wake up and it will say that, okay, this is changed. So where this change should be reflected. So I will go and update there. So this change detection was with zone.js. Okay, now we are using on push mechanism, IVY mechanism, kind of things. So this is one thing you have to understand how it works. Okay, so hope you got this entire process of a basic counter. Yes, of course, it is not a big deal, but yes, this is how we have to implement. Okay. So now let us go to the next point. When I click on products, I want to display the products. But what I want to do is, generally we will get the products from the server. But right now, I don't want to implement the HTTP calls and all, because nowadays direct HTTP calls are discouraged by the Angular. They are asking us to use NGRX for making API calls. Okay, so let us use simple technique for any. What you can say that is, if you really want to showcase your portfolio websites or portfolio projects, better use this mechanism. So here in the products folder, I will create a file called products.json. So in this, I would like to maintain some products. If you really want, I am updating anyways in the Git. You can take this and view. Okay. So I have just maintained the data here. Format selection with the JSON. Okay. So here I am maintaining 20 products. Each object is a product. So how do I display these products in the UI? So to display these products in the UI, again, I'm telling you, when I click on the products component is getting loaded. Got it? When this products.json, we have the data. This data is supposed to be displayed over here. So for displaying these data, I have to use a new control flow called @for. I repeat, we are using a new control flow called @for. I'm not using ng for right now. I'm using for iterating the data. So here I'll be using a UL. Inside the UL, I will be having @for. Inside the for, I have to write down off. So right side to the off, we have to give the array name. But right now we don't have any data in our component. Why not? We are already mentioned that in the products.json, right? That is in the products.json, not in the app component. So import products from /products.json. So this import will actually give you all the products, right? So those products should be given to a signal. So create a signal for all products is equal to signal of products, but mention it as an array of products. Okay, so it is saying that signal is not available. Just type it like this. You got actually signal is supposed to import from core. Yes, we got the products array, and now I can use these products in the products component. So here now I can make @ of products, and left side I will be using product. So this is like a variable, and this for of will iterate this and whatever I am going to write for every product. And there is a very important thing called track $index. So here this for loop will iterate for multiple times. Let us have h1 Praveen. So now let me show you what it is saying. Property products does not exist. Here the name of the products is all products. It's not the products. So all products. And then one more thing is it is a signal. So you have to call the products. So now 20 times Praveen got printed because I am iterating Praveen here. Let us not iterate Praveen. I will iterate the list item with prod dot title. So now all the products are displayed here. So what I want to show you is how to display these products in a proper way, some like a real-time way. Okay. So I try my best to show you. I will be using class, okay, 1 minute. Here I have used some, no, it's not, okay. Unstyled. Okay, I'll show you the, wait. Okay. So here in my list, unstyled. Okay, let us see. Yeah. So we don't have the dots here. Perfect. Now each list item should be displayed as a card. So anyways, I am not using any cards from, okay. Even if you really want, I can use it, but I can do it myself. So here class is equal to W25. So each product will be displayed with the size with the 250 to 25%. And I don't want to use the entire title. I want to use only limited title. Okay, this is it. And after that, I want to display this as a H4. Okay, so they're all displayed in the box. Okay, after this, I want to have the image. See here, img src. So here I would like to introduce you a new word called property binding. So in the src, I had to give the product URL. So in the double quotes, I can directly write prod.image, so that this image will come with a big size. So here also I can apply some class with the W100. So this will take the size from the parent. Okay. 100% from the parent. So this 25 is also too big, guys. Let us drop it to style is equal to style equal to width is 150 px. Yeah, this is better size. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So here all the products are coming one after the other, but we want side by side. So how can I do that? So here we go. In the parent, I will apply deflex and flex wrap. So I'll use sometimes proper styling. Yes, with M4, M3. So margin, okay, this is for the complete margin. Instead of that, for every list item, I should have some margin. Okay, it is very small, it seems. Let me have little more width, so it looks better. And because I'm using flex, justify content around us between. So properly these are aligned. Okay. One more thing is we have to adjust the size of height also. So let me have width as well as, okay, fixed height. Let us apply to the image HEIG height 100 px. So let me have 200 px, so it will be proper. So this is how we can display all the products just like a particular cart. Okay, so today I just want to display the cart, products in the page. Tomorrow I would like to explain you. In the next video or tomorrow, I will explain you this. Creating the cart, add to cart button, or creating the details button, or maximizing all those things will be discussed tomorrow. Okay. If you have any queries related to the course, I'm open for you and I am ready to start. Actually, from Monday, we are starting the complete course. So tomorrow also we will have a demo session and my team will call you or else you can call us. We will start from Monday full-fledged. Any queries from your side? I am open to your answers.
So what's the timing class? What class?
7 o'clock we are planning.
Evening 7 o'clock.
Evening.
Okay, fine.
Any other buddy?
The technical one I have.
Yeah, go ahead.
So like you have used signals, right? Without using
Yes.
signals, like we can't hold the state of a particular variable. Like you have shown the counter one, right, sir?
Yes.
Like without, like you have used a signal, right? Like I don't have that much knowledge on signals, but without using signals, like how can we do?
Directly we can make use of counter without anything. This is what you want to say, that right? So here,
Yeah.
count is equal to 0. That's it.
Okay, like you are incrementing and decrementing, right, sir?
Yes. So you want me to show all these entire steps? Yeah.
Yeah, without using signals, like how can we do that?
Okay, fine then. So, okay, 1 minute. So this entire code is for signals. Now I am going to use without signals. I'll be using count is equal to 0. First step. So this initiates it. And when in the components also, let me unveil this later. You should not use function call. Now it is not a signal, it is just a count variable. So save it. And when we click on counter, it is showing count as 0. So now I will create the increment function, inc, open bracket, close bracket. So directly we use this dot count plus plus. So now in the button. Oh, okay. Okay. So now when we click on the increment button, it is automatically incrementing it. The same way, if you want to have the decrement option also, you can still have it, but you should have decrement as this dot count minus minus. So this completes incrementation as well as decrement.
Sir, like in increment, like we are assigning, like we have the initial value, but
Yes.
when you are clicking the decrement, how that decrement function will know that the particular value? Suppose it is on 6. We should not, like we need to pass 6 to that function, right?
No need.
Like reference.
This
No
dot
need?
count itself hold the value of 6.
Okay.
This dot count will hold the value, right? That is what actually the meaning of state. Yes, it will hold the value.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Thank you.
right, exactly. So whatever now we have implemented here, this is going to be done by zone.js. If you disable the zone.js, this will not work. Okay.
Zone.js, you are saying?
Yes, this is a library which we use in this kind of old mechanism. The problem with this is it will have more number of re-renderings. Okay. For maintaining the data also, it is having lot of memory usage and so many issues are there. So that is why we are avoiding this kind of technique. We are avoiding this and we are now using this technique. Okay, signals are having much better performance than the regular old state variables.
Sir,
Clear?
want to open the
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
routing
Thank
page.
you.
Sorry, ma. Sorry.
So once open the routing page, sir, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please. Yeah, routing.routes app.routes.ts. Yes.
Sir, exactly the component is written here, no, sir, counter component.
Yep.
So there is any with it is any case sensitive also, it's not working, no, sir.
Of course, yes, definitely. So you have to give the file name here, the counter component class name, not file name. The class name here, whatever the class name we have, this counter component class name must be provided exactly the same here. Yes.
So path of the name is counter, it's not a matter to that is also in the case sensitive.
That is not case sensitive. It can be CNTR.
It is like heading.
Anything, but you have to be careful. Like in the link, you have to give here CNTR. Okay, this link here, whatever we have given, that link supposed to be matched over here. Only then, so here CTR. Okay, this is the link part, the path.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Okay. So see you tomorrow for the complete project, and hopefully we will all meet on Monday. See you. But tomorrow we have a session, 1 hour session for the project of cart and e-commerce application. See you tomorrow.